At the beginning, we see Alex at the traditional Maloko Veloceti bar with his 3 friends. The bar serves milk that makes people very willing. Alex introduces us to his friends, who are Pete, Georgie, and Dean. Once the sacred milk was ingested, the delinquents were ready for another night of ultraviolence. Meanwhile, in a latrine, some old drunk was singing a song.
In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty, I first set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone.
Then Alex and his friends begin to arrive, and Alex conjectures about the old man singing, saying that it is unbearable to see this decrepit man sing an old song of his parents. The old drunk finishes his song, and Alex and his companions sarcastically applaud him. The old man asks Alex for money, but Alex attacks him with a cane. The old man knows that his end has come and curses the young and the world they live in, calling the world fetid and depraved. Alex, curious, asks the old man to explain better. The old man then vents, saying that men are more concerned with entertainment than with the laws and order of the world that increasingly rots. He returns to singing while being brutally beaten to death by Alex and his gang. Meanwhile, not far away, Billy Boy and his gang were about to force a girl into a group anatomy lesson. But Alex and his gang arrive to break up their party. Alex gives young Billy several compliments.
Well, if it isn't fat, stinking Billy Goat, Billy Boy in poison. How art thou, thou globby bottle of cheap?
Such as eunuch jelly, smelly fat and venomous, Billy Boy accepts the provocations and a huge fight breaks out. Billy's boys get the worst of it, but while they are being brutally massaged, Alex hears the police and retreats with his gang. They steal a Durango model car 95 and go out into the night driving in the wrong direction. Tormenting the poor drivers. Alex, however, quickly tires of the game and decides to head west, where they intend to pay a surprise visit to an unsuspecting and defenseless resident, giving him a taste of ultraviolence. They arrive at a very isolated mansion and sneak inside the house. The doorbell rings, and an old man writes on a machine asks his wife to answer the doorbell. Arriving there, Alex says they've had an accident and his friend is bleeding, so he needs to go in to use the phone and call for help. The woman is wary and refuses, but her husband, a foolish humanist, asks her to let them in. They enter, wearing masks and shouting, and assault the old man with a kick in the mouth. While Alex sings the classic Singing in the Rain, he assaults the man, his wife, and breaks into his office. Soon after, Alex uses scissors to undress the man's wife. He does whatever he wants, and the poor old man can only watch. Soon after the brutality, they went back to Korova, as the effect of the drugs had worn off. There were some singers there. Alex watched them until the woman among them began to sing. Alex loved a private concert after such a long night, as it was even better because Beethoven was his favorite composer. However, his fat, retarded friend Dean was not a fan of art and disturbed the girl, making Alex attack him. He gets angry with Alex, but when challenged to a hand-to-hand combat, he gives up and apologizes to Alex. Later, Alex returns home to a decadent setting. He enters his room, puts away his belongings, and caresses his pet. Then he listens to his favorite Beethoven tape while seeing an offensive sculpture of Christ. While enjoying the music, scenes of violence come to his mind. The next day, his mother, an old woman, woke up and knocks on his bedroom door, asking Alex to go to school because he has already been absent all week. But Alex says he feels a strong pain in his Gulliver, and that is why he wants to stay home. She gives up and returns to the kitchen where she discusses her son's situation with her husband. They believe that Alex works at night. Little do they know that their son is a disgusting thug. Later, Alex wakes up and sees someone strange in the room. He goes back to see who it is. It is Mr. Deltoid. Alex greets him, and Mr. Deltoid asks Alex about his pain in his Gulliver. Alex replies that it is an uncomfortable pain, and the gentleman Deltoid argues that it must be due to the night's pleasures, and asks Alex to sit next to him. He begins to bombard Alex with questions about last night, saying that a certain Billy boy was picked up by the ambulance, and mentioned Alex and his friends. Furthermore, a house was broken into in the early hours of the morning, traumatizing its residents. The description of the group perfectly matches Alex's gang. However, Alex says there is no evidence of this. Mr. Deltoid warns Alex that if he is caught, he will not go to the reformatory, but to the prison. Mr. Deltoid ends up drinking water that unfortunately was not suitable for consumption. Later, Alex goes to the city gallery. He asks the vendor for his order and notices two girls whom he immediately begins to harass using his soft lollipops as a pretext.
Enjoying that, are you, my darling? Bit cold and pointless. What's happened to yours, my little sister?
His lame pickup lines work, and he takes the two girls to his house for an afternoon of love. In those same days, his delinquent friends came to visit him. This leaves Alex surprised, and he asks for explanations. His friends sarcastically warn him about his violent behavior against his own friends, but Dean's smile irritates him, and Alex threatens him. But again, Georgie reprimands him about his behavior, also saying that Alex doesn't share the money from the robberies with them. Alex pretends to accept his companion's demands, but his heart holds deep resentment. While they were walking along the shore of a lake, Alex reacted by kicking Georgie's Gulliver and knocking Dean into the water. Alex, in a false gesture of repentance, reached out to Dean but pulled out a knife and cut Dean's hand. Tempers calmed down, and now they knew Alex was the leader. But Alex knew it was time to be kind to them and asked Georgie to reveal her plans for the night. Georgie began talking about a spa isolated from the city. The place is full of jewelry and guarded only by an old woman with many cats. That same night, while the woman was exercising, they knocked on her door. She went to answer it, and they used the same excuse as before, that her friend had had an accident and was very ill. The old woman, however, was smarter than the previous victims and refused to open the door. Alex then went with his friends to find another access to the inside of the house. He climbed up to while the old woman was calling the police and explaining the whole situation. Alex entered through the bedroom door and witnessed all the lewd art in the old woman's room. He became interested in a sculpture of a giant penis and started playing with it, making the woman very angry. She then grabbed a steel bust and started trying to attack Alex, who protected himself with the penis sculpture. In the middle of the fight, Alex became angry and crushed the old woman's head with the sculpture. Police sirens blared in the background, making Alex desperate and flee. But when he got out, Alex was attacked by Dean with a milk bottle. His friends fled, leaving him to be arrested. At the police station, Alex confronted the police officers, saying he wouldn't say anything. One of them then pinched the wound on Alex's nose in retaliation. Alex squeezed his Gulliver and was beaten by the other police officers. Mr. Deltoid then arrived. Alex tried to free himself from the guilt by asking Mr. Deltoid for help and accusing his friends of traitors, but Deltoid replied that it was the end. From the line to him, "Because the victim died in the hospital, Alex is now a murderer." Mr. Deltoid then spits in Alex's face, showing contempt and disappointment. After the trial, Alex was taken to prison, a decision that Alex considered totally unfair. He arrived at the prison, a strict and militarized place. He said his full name and age. Alexander DeLarge, 14 years old. There he was given a number that from now on is his identity. Then they ask him to empty his pockets. There he obeys once his belongings are cataloged. He is forced to undress, undergoes quick examinations, and is sent to the shower. Soon after, they go to a sermon by the priest. During the sermon, one of the inmates sends kisses to Alex. The inmates do not take the pastor's sermon seriously and fart and burp during the ceremony.
Yourselves. Don't you laugh.
Over time, Alex became close to one of the prison directors. They liked Alex for being an educated young man and a lover of books. Alex read the entire Bible and imagined himself whipping Christ, but he was not interested in the sermons, but only in the violence and the benefits of being a king of antiquity. While imagining, he was interrupted by the priest, Alex claimed to be a reformed man and asked for a minute to have a word with the priest. Alex tells him about the rumors of a new method of regeneration for prisoners that cures them in a few weeks, giving them their freedom completely reformed. The priest says that this is the Ludovico method, and that it is all a test without proven effectiveness. But Alex says he just wants to be a good boy and have his freedom back. Obviously, the young psychopath does not believe in the treatment. He just wants his freedom back to return to committing crimes. A week later, a politician visits the prison. The prisoners are in the courtyard, and the man enters Alex's cell in a setting that mixes classical music, women, and religion. The prisoners are placed in order to receive the governor. One of the officers comments on the overcrowding of the prison, and the governor talks about the new method that transforms men. Alex then speaks out, and the governor finds him perfect for the program. Later, Alex is called to the director's office, who says he does not agree with the Ludovico program because it is a simple, liberal hallucination. But he obeys orders, and since Alex applied, he is allowed to participate in the program. Alex signs the papers, and as progress is made, he can be released in 15 days. The next day, Alex is taken to the Ludovico Medical Center. After the bureaucracy, he is accompanied by a guard and taken to the laboratory. There, he is served breakfast. The nurse distracts him while the assistant prepares the medicinal serum. Alex asks what the treatment consists of, and while administering the injection, the nurse replies that it is just some videos. In the next scene, Alex is tied to a movie theater chair, and they put staples in his eyes while he watches violent films without being able to blink or turn his head. Everything seemed fine at first, but as the hours go by, Alex feels sickened by the scenes he sees. Soon after, a new scene of a woman being forced by several men, and Alex feels increasingly worse. The doctor, Dr. Brodsky, explains that the effect of the drug leads the patient to a feeling of disgust, helplessness, and despair, so the patient will associate his suffering with the violence seen on the screen. Later, the nurse tells Alex that he is doing very well, and that they will double the length of his sessions. In the next session, they show Alex videos from World War II, but the soundtrack, it was a sweet song from his favorite composer, Beethoven. Alex then begins to scream, saying that Beethoven never hurt anyone.
Stop it, please, I beg you!
But the scientists are not willing to stop. As the act continues, Alex claims to be cured and thanks and praises God for his healing. Even so, the procedure continues. After 15 days, Alex is presented by the governor to a group of politicians and prison representatives. The governor guarantees the effectiveness of the training and sets up a theater to guarantee his point. A man enters and beats Alex, humiliating him, but Alex shows no reaction. The man then forces him to lick his boots. Alex himself comments in his mind that his aggression had been converted into fear. Then a half-naked woman was presented to him, and despite his desire to possess her, he again felt fear. The audience concluded that the disease of violence had been cured. They applauded fervently. Only the priest disagreed, saying that repression of individuality would not cure anyone, but only temporarily would change their behavior, being a partial method. The governor countered by saying that was now the model. From a Christian man, Alex was free. He arrived at his home, where his family read about his release. As a good man, he arrived and greeted his family, and questions his father about the man sitting on the couch. His father says that they rented his room to this boy named Zhao. Alex greets him, but Zhao fights him back, saying that Alex did a lot of harm to his family. Alex tries to punch him but feels bad and disgusted. After recovering, he asks about his belongings, and his father replies that they were confiscated by the police. His pet beagle also died. Alex then asks his father how he will live there. His father says he cannot expel Zhao because they have a contract. Alex curses his suffering, but Zhao tells him that Alex caused suffering to others, and that is why he is suffering. Alex then decides to leave while his parents cry. He goes out into the streets, and while watching the river, he is approached by a beggar who asks him for money. The old man recognizes him because he is the same drunk from the beginning of the story. He chases Alex and calls his friends, saying that he was the one who beat him a while ago. They gang up on Alex and steal his belongings and also beat him. But because they are very old, they do not cause any harm, until 2 guards arrive and scatter the crowd. But the guards were his 2 old friends, Dean and Georgie. They take Alex to a remote place and drown him in dirty water while beating him. When he is close to passing out, they abandon him. A heavy rain begins to fall and Alex goes to the same house of the old humanist writer. He drags himself there and rings the doorbell. The writer says a strong man will answer. He opens the door and Alex falls into his arms. He takes him to the old writer. Alex immediately remembers him. But the man does not recognize him because on the day of the incident, they wore masks. Alex claims to be a victim of police brutality. The man soon realized that Alex was a victim of the Ludovico program, and since he was a political activist, he sheltered Alex and prepared a bath for him. While in the bath, Alex began to hum, singing in the rain. But the old man was on the phone with another activist, saying that Earl was living proof of the government's violence against young people. He hung up the phone and finally heard Alex's song. All the trauma flashed through his mind again. Minutes later, Alex was having lunch, and when the wheelchair-bound writer arrived along with the other strong man, he didn't seem happy. He served Alex some wine, but a hostile atmosphere formed. Alex drank the wine somewhat uneasily. The man then began to say that his wife was abused by juvenile delinquents and couldn't handle the pressure. The man added that some friends were arriving and that they could help Alex because he was a victim of this totalitarian regime. The old man reluctantly said, but the political cause seemed more important to him. The guests arrived and began to question Alex about the treatment he had received. Alex reports in detail about the treatment and its entire method, and mentions that Beethoven's music was used against him, so that every time he listens to Beethoven after the treatment, he feels distressed. Suddenly, Alex faints, and we discover that it was all a show for the sleeping pill to take effect. Alex wakes up hours later in a locked room, and Beethoven's Ninth Symphony plays very loudly, making him desperate. Downstairs, the old man delights in his small revenge. Alex, in unbearable anguish, saw no other option but to perform a free jump from the attic of the house. He survived but was all broken and in a cast. He regained consciousness and was later accused by the government of practicing cruelty against young offenders. The next day, his parents came to visit them, repentant because they learned that their son had suffered atrocities. Later, a doctor comes to him, claiming to be a psychiatrist. She performs some rapid response tests on him to test his recovery, but Alex responds to the tests strangely.
What do you want?
No time for the old in and out, love. I've just come to read the meter.
And the governor later comes to visit Alex and apologizes for everything that happened. She even helps Alex eat. While he feeds him and apologizes, Alex remains with a sarcastic and defiant expression. The governor says that the writer who tried to kill him is in jail because he was delirious, saying that Alex had killed someone he loved. The governor then proposes a deal. They will give him a good salary and a good job. In exchange, Alex will be supportive of the government. The press enters Alex's room with flowers and takes pictures of Alex next to the governor, presenting him as a reformed and docile delinquent. But Alex knows that a wolf can never be tamed.
I was cured, all right.
This is the end. If you liked it, like and subscribe. Help this poor unemployed man avoid being a beggar. Comment with the word Gulliver if you got this far. Until next time, bye-bye.